how are you? Because maybe I make a mistake, but I have the impression you was a little bit tired with your legs.
No, I don't think so. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it was the case, but it's just, I think, just the movement, the coordination is not exactly how I want it to be, so I'm sometimes in two minds, but that's where I think today was just a battle for myself, making sure I move the right way, I play the right way, I have the right shot selection. Maybe also just getting used to the conditions still a little bit, and Richard does a good job of making you feel, uncomfortable as well at the same time, because he uses height, spins really well, and he likes extended rallies, and I'm trying to force the issue, but I guess those are the kind of matches I need right now, straight sets against a good player, and clearly comes at the right time right now.
Roger, talking about your personal situation, familiar and so on, is good. That helps your game, or you need more independence? I mean, if your personal life is okay in the court, if it can make you a better player, performer.
I would think so, yeah. I think if things are good in your personal life, you definitely play better tennis, but I think the tennis player also has to be able to play tennis when things are not okay in your personal life, even though things are right now. And that's the tough part, that's what people never talk about, write about, because everybody assumes we're always okay, we're always happy, and we're always feeling great, and in the personal life everything's wonderful, but it's not always the case, we have problems of our own, sometimes smaller, sometimes bigger, but I think important is when it comes to the crunch and you walk on the court is that you try to block that out for the time you are on the court. Not always easy, sometimes things, because there's a lot of sort of downtime as well on the tennis court, where you look around, where you think about it, maybe potentially, and it's clearly happened once before in my 15 years on tour. So I'm a master today at it, to block it out.
Thank you.
No
Roger?
Where?
Okay.
Yes.
Can I just ask you if you can compare this season, which has been, by your standards, unsuccessful in terms of winning trophies and tournaments, compared to those 5 years when you were at the top? Is winning right now, difficult wins, are they more valuable now compared to when you were absolutely untouchable?
It's totally different, I needed the hard-fought wins back then to go on and win the tournament. Now I feel like the hard-fought wins are there to get me back to a really good level, to a very competitive level, And I'm not coming back from serious injury, but I'm coming back from a lot of sort of up and downs, and resetting things and trying out things and making sure I get my confidence back in my movement and so forth. So it's a totally different situation, and it's hard to compare, really. But at the end of the day, many of the matches you do play, you're actually not playing your very best, and those are the ones you just have to scrape through sometimes. And those are the matches down the stretch nobody will ever talk about again, because they'll talk about the semis and finals, and usually just the finals, and not about the first couple of rounds. So that's the beauty of it. So when things go well, it's all rosy, and if things don't go so well, you start digging, and that's kind of what's happened a little bit this year for the media sometimes.
Yes, Roger, about the Viktor Troicki case. I mean, Novak Djokovic said the other day that he basically doesn't trust the anti-doping system anymore, WADA. Is this a general feeling among the players? What do you think about?
What's the latest news? I don't even know. He got it reduced to a year. Is that correct? Honestly, I don't talk a whole lot with other players about it. I just feel like we're not getting probably tested enough. I didn't get tested in Basel, I don't think. I didn't get tested in Paris, I don't think. So I get tested here after the first match, but I just feel like there needs to be more testing done. I know the budgets can be small sometimes, and all these things, you know. I had an out-of-competition testing before Basel, but I just feel like I used to get tested more, I felt. I think I was tested 25 times maybe in 2003 or 2004. And then ever since, I feel like it's been going down clearly this season because I haven't been playing so well. I've also maybe sometimes missed, you know, those days when they were there. But also last year when I was on the run, what was it, Rotterdam, Dubai, Indian Wells, when I won the 3, I think, what was it? Or the year before that, I didn't get tested in one of those 3 events that I won. And for me, that's not okay. You just show up and just test the guy who's winning everything, you know. So that's sometimes what I struggle with. Overall, I trust the system. I think they all are very professional. I just think it's important that they treat us like normal human beings and not like criminals, because it's fine to treat a guy bad if the guy is, you know, tested positive and the guy needs to feel the pain, but not if we haven't done anything yet. And that to me seems like that's the case. So I appreciate that.
Roger, I know that obviously this tournament isn't done yet, but can I just check on the off season, you're not doing South America this year. So
No.
are you doing a more kind of conventional off season?
Yes, very much so.
And has that presumably that has cost you quite a bit of money, has it? Because they'd like you back in South America, but you've foregone that to sort of do a more conventional off season.
Look, I didn't do it because of the money. For number one, I made enough money during the course of my career. So South America for me was something I've always wanted to do. I've never gone there as a touring professional. I was once there in the juniors, and that was just Mexico, Costa Rica, and Venezuela. So I've always wanted to go back there. Davis Cup or any tournaments never got me there. So I was like, I'd really like to make it a fun exhibition tour, which it clearly was the case last year, and I had the best time of my life. Really, it was incredible. I don't know if you saw pictures or videos or whatever it was, but the crowds were out of this world, and it's something I would want to do right away, but I was a little hesitant if it was not going to be just too much back-to-back years to do a South American schedule, and then I stalled, and when I stalled, it means I'm not sure. And then eventually I called it off, and it was, I think, too late to do anyway. And that's when I was actually quite happy seeing how my year progressed, that I thought now it's important to just focus on just some practice, on some quiet time. That was anyway the theme for 2013, making sure I don't overplay, I don't do too many things, I don't travel too much. That's why I also took the 7-week breather after Indian Wells. And for that reason, I hope in 2014 I'll be able to maybe play a tougher schedule, or I'll have at least options if I want to, which in 13 was just a bit hard, was the whole thing. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to play any exhibitions, you know, moving forward. But I'm quite happy this year, just taking it easy in the off season, to be quite honest.
Roger, just one more question on drug testing. In Troitsky's case, his problem seemed to be that he wasn't aware of how serious the consequences were of not doing the test that day and of coming back the following day. In your experience, are the players told clearly enough that if you are called for a test, you must do it that day?
Look, I don't know their conversation and the situation, exactly what happened. It's very important, I guess, you know, the chaperone, you know, the guy who comes and all of a sudden is next to you like a shadow. Sometimes you don't know who that guy is, and sometimes they are a little bit hesitant because you've just lost a match and you look extremely angry. So they don't dare to talk to you, even though they should probably just introduce themselves and say what's going on. So you don't run to the toilet and then you can't go to the toilet. It's kind of happened to me one time. And then the guy had to stay with me all night, and you know, it just becomes really complicated. In this case, but I do believe that when you are requested for a sample, you have to give the sample. It doesn't matter how bad you feel, you know. I'm sorry, I just, like the test the next day is for me not a test anymore, because what could have happened overnight, you know. And I don't believe anything. I believe whatever they decided on, you know. But I think it's just very important to give the sample when you're requested to give it, because there you are in front of them, and there's no way to escape anymore, and that's where we just need to be extremely firm, I believe.
Roger, I think now if you beat Juan, you'll definitely be through to the last four. You've played each other obviously twice very recently. How much confidence do you take from the Paris win?
Well, I don't think it's exactly like you said. I don't think I'm automatic. I think if he beats Novak today, things are quite complicated yet again, which is, I'm happy to be a part of that funny game again. But no, look, I think the win in Paris was big for me, because he did beat me 3 times indoors straight, Basel finals twice, and also here last year. All very special in its own way, because Basel is my home city, and it's always very interesting for me to be playing the finals there against him. And then here last year I was already qualified, so it's one of those matches just hard to manage. But you know, I tried and I fought, and he did better. So I'm happy I got one back in Paris, and because I knew we could be again in the same group, or we could be playing each other. So I think that win in Paris for me psychologically was very important, knowing I can beat top 10 guys. Now I beat Richard as well. I beat Juan Martín last week, so I truly believe my confidence is higher, and that's what I need to beat the best, and Juan Martín is part of that group, clearly.